If you'd like to see more of our videos, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today's April 3rd, 2020, and today is Friday morning. It is also the last Friday of the month, which means we're going to have non-farm payroll coming out of the United States at 2:30 South African time. Now, speaking about this non-farm payroll, a couple of things could happen. Either this number's already factored in, which means that the market already anticipates the correction of unemployment in the market right now, or it could be a tremendous surprise in addition to what we've already, come accustomed to of all these unemployments that have been happening. So we're going to keep a very sharp eye about what the alternatives will be. Looking at the markets, we saw the US dollar gained versus the South African rand to new lows. We spoke about this yesterday. Next, we're looking at the Dow Jones pretty much trading sideways. Okay, the unemployment claims came out yesterday. We tanked about 400 to 500 points, and then we made a comeback at the end of the day. So it does look like the markets have been resilient. Now, it's mostly been resilient because of oil bouncing, both gold and oil bounces, after President Trump said that he would curtail some of the production of oil domestically, thereby raising the price of oil. Lastly, we're going to look at the stocks, but they gained across the board, okay? Mostly gained, especially the bank stocks. We're going to take a look at them as well. But let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So the first one really to taper off versus the USD is the euro. As you can see right here on a 4-hour chart, we were trading around this 109.90-ish level just yesterday, and sure enough, we tapered down to 108.25. A nice 125 pip move for one day. It's pretty good for a trade on the euro USD. So something to consider. If it does continue breaking down, we could see it definitely test this 106.59-ish level. Okay, so something to consider. The GBP didn't budge yesterday. Okay, this is why I want to highlight it. It did not go down, which means there's relative strength on the GBP. So if the market does turn and the dollar does get weaker, I would expect the GBP to be the first one to go up. Okay, so something to keep in the back burner as this is unfolding. Now, looking at the USD ZAR, 1858 is where we're trading in right now. Okay, this continues to be an upwards trend. Okay, and no end in sight until something happens. Okay, until there's massive correction here on the downside. Now, jumping into gold first. We had quite a resilient day yesterday, going from 1580 up to 1616-ish level. So we made back some of the losses that we had the previous day, but altogether we're trading in a range. We're still in a pretty tight range between this 1580 and 1630-ish level, okay, between these two parameters. Looking at the price of oil, okay, now this is really important because looking at the price of oil, we're pretty much flatlined at $20 a barrel and finally bouncing to $24. Could this be the end of the massive decline of it? Maybe. Okay, if they curtail this price of oil, I think the whole world has to come together right now. Okay, to fight this pandemic, to fight possible world recession and even depression potentially. I think the world is all coming up together, and they're gonna curtail some of the production of oil in order to increase the price of oil so that those manufacturers, those refineries are not losing any more money. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, okay, now it doesn't look like a big day yesterday, but it was. I mean, relatively to these massive moves that we've had last week, it's not, okay? But relatively, it had some decent moves, okay? About 400 to 500 pip move, okay? In a couple of directions. We traded up to 21,200-ish level, and then we tanked at the open to 20,500-ish level. Okay, I believe that was the bottom right here, as you could see, and then we rallied right back. Okay, so right now we're tapering off. Now, with this NFP number coming out, okay, the markets are really quiet. Are we going to test the lows of 18,000 again? I believe so. Is it going to happen today? Not necessarily. Okay, so just be aware of that, because some of this NFP number that's coming out today has already been factored in. Okay, everybody knows that there are a lot of people unfortunately still dying. Okay, and hopefully that will come to an end even today. And there's a lot of people on unemployment because of this situation. So that's already been factored in. Okay, so unless there's any super surprise, more than what we've had already, I don't think the markets are going to really tank to that big of a level. I could be wrong, so you need to really wait before the number. I wouldn't suggest taking the position before the number. Okay, your trade is more effective when you have a better chance, of more probability towards your favors. Okay, so just keep in mind of that. Now, looking at the stocks yesterday, okay, we had some strength in the stocks yesterday, including JP Morgan, which has been really quiet recently, actually bouncing up further here, okay, in yesterday's trading. So that was actually a nice little rally there. Looking at Apple, did rally a little bit from 236 up to 244, okay. So a little bit of resiliency we saw yesterday after a decent decline. And it's going to continue being topsy-turvy, okay? The market's going to be still a roller coaster ride until we have some sort of confirmation, either on the upside or the downside, okay? But most likely on the downside, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but as the weeks continue, and as this unfortunate situation hopefully doesn't get worse, but if it does get worse, then the markets will respond accordingly. So just be aware of that, all right? So the stocks have been relatively strong yesterday. If we look at Amazon as well, you see we rallied from 1898 to 1913, but still nothing to write home about. There's no breakout. There's no, we're not challenging a higher high on the, on the longer term, trend. Okay, so with that said, I do expect some continual corrections in the market. Okay, trade responsibly, trade with stop losses. Okay, make sure you put your defenses in there. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody, obviously, first, a healthy trading day, okay? And be safe, and God bless. Thank you.